moments, I sincerely apologize. It is 9:00. First of all, do you guys like this time better? Does it work better for everybody? Like, give me a thumbs up if it works better. Give me a thumbs down if it works not as good.
I like the shit.
Thank you. I do wear them from time to time when these things happen. Once a week, I put on a shirt for you guys. Okay, amazing. So this time is better. I just got to navigate this better and not fuck it up like we've been doing. Okay, so we're starting a little bit late. But what we were just talking about after listening to the song, we'll replay this again, is that, okay, the psychology we have in markets is the psychology everybody has in markets at the same time. And the mistake we all fall into is the idea that we think we are alone, like we are, individuals in a world where everybody else isn't like us, right? In reality, you are me, I am you. There's no separation between the two of us. So if anything, we're all going through the same journey at the same time. If right now you're hurting and going through shit and stuff is breaking and life is rough and business is rough and money's getting tight, if all those things are happening, it's not just happening to you. It's happening to everyone at the same time, and we're all on the journey together. So one of the mistakes that I see us all consistently make is that we end up thinking that, it's just happening to us. So what I was saying was, when people, now that the recording's starting again, I'll repeat some of the stuff, but when we look at others, it's easy to look at a person and go, oh, they look like they've got it figured out. And then think that, oh, it must be easy for them. So if you look at me and you think Sim figured it out, or Sim has money, or Sim sitting in Bali doesn't have to go to a 9 to 5, yeah, easy for him to say, or whatever, It's, if you had to live my life, most people would be depressed. If you especially had to live the life that I had to live to get here, people would almost certainly be depressed. And the people who know me, especially the ones who know I have a shirt on right now, know what it's like to exist as me. And it's no easy feat, right? But even beyond just telling you about it, I'd like to share a piece of my life that I have not shared with anybody before, except for my very, very close loved ones. It is a grim documentary that is going to go live soon, but you're getting a sneak peek to it. And it sheds light on how it's not easy for anybody. And the ones who look like it's easy, it's usually the hardest one. So please enjoy. Those of you that watch this, I'm sorry, you have to watch it again. And I promise I will not fuck with the settings anymore. We are fucked. That this world is headed to an end, which is the beginning of something new on the other side. Who am I? That is a question that I've been asking myself for a long time. And I feel like it's been a 20-year journey of discovering who I am. And if there's one way to put it, I am a singular point of the universal consciousness experiencing this reality. Wait, can you guys see this? Can you guys see the video? Anybody not able to see the video? That's another thing. When I share some things, sometimes it doesn't render properly. So just let me know if you can't see it. If you have your sleeping mask on, make sure you take that off because that'll block you from seeing it. It is also nighttime. Coming here, came in, and it felt a little alien for me because this is not a natural space for me. It's also not natural seeing somebody like me here. So partially I was like, okay, I felt like a bit alien. normally, if I'm already in that edgy kind of divisive state, and then I feel this discomfort, it would just increase that friction. The first day when we prayed, it just lifted all of that. It just cleansed my energy, took away that whole thing. I was specifically being confrontational with somebody who, I'm having some issues with. And going into the prayer, I was thinking about all the ways I'm gonna navigate, just mad. Coming out of the prayer, I was just like, no, just love. I mean, I know how it works, but it's still surprising that that is how quickly and instantaneously your life gets changed from the dark to the light, from negativity to love. Coming here, arriving and feeling the kind of energy of love, it was like we let our shoulders down, we're all talking about it. Wow, you can feel the energy of the place. And then to sit that table outside became our church. We just sat there and it's just connection, depth. And the sharing circle was profound, because just hearing the pain, the story, the suffering, but also the beauty, the love, the resilience, the amount of energy being put into, being that resilient pillar for your family, for your society, and hearing each person's story, I was resonating at each step, saying, I was there, I was there, I was there. And then being able to share my story. I haven't shared this story public, but that dynamo of healing, super profound. I grew up in a village in India. So I was born in actually a tuk-tuk, the little three-wheelers, yeah. And then lived in a mud house in India. And actually when I was 2, my first memory is of my mom leaving me in a pantry and me being a baby, and everything is light and everything becomes dark. And she had had a very rough life. She lost her first child, and that really broke her. So later on in my life, I found out that she was actually having an affair with the neighbor. And being a Sikh, our culture is very, very martial when it comes to those kind of things. So my dad came home one time and found out that she was doing that. So he killed her and made her disappear from reality, made her disappear from my life. So I never had the chance to see even a photo of my mother. Never seen what she looks like. At 15, my dad took me to Canada. He was broken in his own way. I can imagine how it is living life like that and having to do that to your first love. I had to go to this private school, to this Lutheran school. And I would have to dress up in dress clothes, with dress shoes, and a thin jacket. And I would have to walk through basically minus 30-degree weather through a snowy field to catch my bus. And this one day, I did that. It's blizzarding sideways, miserable outside. I walk outside, I go to the bus, my shoes are covered in snow and everything's filling with water. The snow's up to here. I get to the bus, and in that kind of temperature, you can only survive a few minutes. And I stood there waiting at the bus stop, and it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. And at 10 minutes, I'm convulsing, just trying to stay alive. And the bus is late. And just for a moment, I just stopped shivering, and I stood there and really pondered, is it worth living? Is life worth even living like this? Maybe death isn't so bad. And then I remember just this well of anger that rose up within me. And I just became just violently angry that I am not the one that can be kept in prison like this. I will make it out of this, and I will make it so that the world doesn't have to suffer like this. And that kernel, that fire, burned within me for the next 15 years. So I just decided I'm gonna spend every single waking moment of my life focused on Shawshanking my way out of this prison with a spoon. Which person surprised me the most on this trip? That's a really good question. It's Dennis, because just hearing his story, and he's coming from Ukraine, from the middle of the war, and still having that energy, still shining bright, not just a superficial smile, but still having the goodness in your heart, not jaded, not in that energy that we're talking about, the negative energy. That is so surprising to me. And at his age, at a young age, I was like, wow, if you can be like that in the middle of war, in the middle of death, in the middle of, and dealing with the people who are lost in the middle of the war, and you're that bright, anything's possible. Yesterday, the whole day of like, it's just adventure, adventure, adventure. You have no idea what's gonna happen. It's you here, you're stuck in this thing as you're coming out there, we're climbing rocks and watching the majesty of the exploding ocean. Just trying to fight the waves and then, or try to stand strong in it, and getting knocked over like a bunch of bowling pins. It's like we became kids again. And no matter what age you are, no matter from where you are, we all just got together and played in the middle of reverence, in the middle of this divinity and the energy. I think the most challenging thing for me was disconnecting from my world, because a lot of people depend on me to be on top of things. A lot of people depend on me to always watch the markets and always take the right decisions. And there's a weight on my shoulders that I always carry around. And these are the best people in my life. These are those souls that are on the mission that I know if I mess something up, it affects a lot of people. But disconnecting from that world and truly allowing myself to be present, allowing myself to fully experience for myself, I think that was probably the most challenging thing at the beginning. First day or two, it was like that anxiety of like, I need Wi-Fi, I need connection, all this kind of stuff. After the first day and a half, it's such a pleasure. And I'll be honest, the toughest moment for me is right now, is to know I have to leave this bubble of energy. I have to leave my brothers, this energy we've been laughing our asses off the whole time. And now, like Jonas was saying, just on the other side of the sea is all our problems. And to step back into that world, it's, on one side it's tough, on the other side my battery is recharged, so I'm ready for the fight. Wherever you are, whoever you are, it's so easy to think that you are just you, that you are alone, that you don't have others around you. You may feel like an alien in the world. But just remember this, we are here. Your brothers are here. Come, hug, love, feel the true weight of you as the collective, as the whole. You are not alone. We are a army across the world that is connected to the divine, connected genuinely heart to heart, and is here to uplift you, to love you, to care for you. Become the fertile soil where you, as good seed, not just grow, you bloom. You're in a garden that is the best I've ever seen across the world, and it's everywhere. So the reason I wanted to share that with you is that no one has it easy. You probably haven't had it easy. It's been fucking rough. It's been tough. You've been knocked around 1,000 times and you've gone through your own painful journey. Yet it has made you. It takes the pressure and the heat to make a diamond. And without that, it's just soft, black stuff, soft darkness. Now, through this journey, you have to remember that success demands blood. Success demands sacrifice. If you want to succeed in this journey, you have to sacrifice and hurt and go through the process of becoming the person who's capable of handling the wealth. The reason why it's so tough is because it's not for everybody. Wealth is not for everybody. Abundance we are infinitely abundant as souls, but to be given to the wrong person ruins them and destroys them and kills them most of the time. So you have to understand that success demands sacrifice. And if you're hurting, the more you're hurting, the more likely it is on the other side of that difficulty is more abundance, right? And then another piece that I wanted to highlight from this is that you have to have a warrior mindset. You have to have a mindset that allows you to understand that this is not a fucking joke. This is not clicking dogs with hats on them. This is a war of the mind, of the soul, for the future of our children. And if you are not in the mindset of a warrior, we're not in the wrong place. But I'm also preaching to the choir, right? So I think a big piece that I always try to remember through this journey of crypto, but also just in life, is that my level of happiness is tied to my how much I can reduce my expectations. Right? There's a equation that says happiness equals reality minus expectations. So the more I expect things to happen at a certain time, the more I expect people to behave in a certain way, the more I expect crypto to make me money by a certain date, the more it's going to stab me in the heart. And the less I expect, the more I surrender, the happier I will be. So that's the first hack that I want us to think about, that, expectations are the thief of joy. The second you expect the pump, you will lose clarity needed to see the dump, right? And when you expect the market to do certain things, you become fragile because now you know at what point it's going to hurt you. If there is no point that the market can hurt you, then you're good to go. Because if you enter and it goes down and you don't expect it to go up or down, you're good, right? Obviously, you got to buy solid coin. If you buy shit coins, you're done. But I'm just saying, when you buy solid coins, when you're in the market, the lack of expectations of the market is one of the biggest skills to have. But, one of the things I see constantly is that beginners come into crypto and have an expectation of success. When did you do something for the first time and have an expectation of success? Did you walk for the first time and have an expectation of success? Did you have sex for the first time and have an expectation of being fucking amazing at it? Did you work for the first time and have never do we have an expectation that we're going to do great. Now, we have an expectation of success that, okay, sure, I would successfully be able to, I don't know, court my partner or, achieve my first business. But as soon as you walk into it, you realize, the first time I'm going to fail, right? So we've spoken about crypto being an ocean of liquidity. Now, first of all, do you ever enter the ocean and think, I'm going to go to the worst part of the ocean? Do you see an ocean with a bunch of waves and you think, you know what I'm going to do? That part that has the biggest fucking waves, I'm going to go there first, right? No, you never do that. In life, you never do that. I see a forest, I'm going to go to the worst, the scariest part of the forest. No. Yet in crypto, people do that. So think about it like this. When it shows up, one of these days. There it is. So it's like, first of all, understand that the ocean is just liquidity. The market is just a market. It doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't have feelings of its own. Bitcoin doesn't have feelings of its own. It doesn't love you. XRP doesn't love you. So if you love Bitcoin and you treat it like it's your baby or something, it doesn't give a fuck about you. It isn't a thing. It's simply a ledger entry. The market doesn't care about you. The market just cares about taking every single thing from you, because the market is people on the other side trying to take everything from you. So having emotions towards something emotionless, it's like having emotions towards a rock. It's like, fuck, this rock did this to me. What? It's like you stubbing your toe and going, this rock hit my toe. What? No, dumbass. You hit the rock. The market's just stealing my money. No, you're losing your own money. So firstly, understand that the liquidity in the ocean is just water. It doesn't care about your plans. It just moves. The ocean doesn't give a shit about you. It's not trying to hurt you. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't care. It's just a thing. The rookie error is you're like, okay, I'm gonna go surf. You're standing here and you're like, I'm gonna go surf. Now, anybody who's surfed, or if you even imagine surfing, do you expect that the very first day you are going to ride the wave perfectly? No, that's stupid. Yet in markets, people think I'm going to make money the first day. No, you will fall a lot on your fucking face, and it will hurt a lot for a long time, and then it'll continue, and you'll probably give up. Yet understanding that the wipeout is the game, it is being in the markets. Like surfing is just wiping out a lot. I went wakeboarding for 10 weeks, day after day, 8 hours a day. Technically 4 hours because I would take an hour off to rest and then I'd go back. 4 hours a day for 10 weeks, 40 hours, hundreds of rounds. I just kept falling on my face constantly, and it hurts. Like wakeboarding hurts. It was like a cable wake park, and it hurts, right? But I knew if I just kept going, I would get good at it. And then one day I did the whole loop, and then next week I was already doing some small jumps, and 2 weeks later I'm doing bigger jumps, and a few months later I am hitting rails and doing a whole bunch of amazing stuff. But I had to go through the 10 weeks of falling on my face and having this kink in my neck to get to that point. The rule is expect to be shit for some time. Always. And if you have been shit, welcome to the club, babe. You and everybody else. You're not special. As a matter of fact, you're only special because you lasted this long. You're still in the ocean. But one day you will hit the wave. When you don't give up, you will hit the wave. And now that you're here, this is why I built this thing, because I was like, I just see people constantly going and hitting the waves and crashing. And in the middle of a bear market, $11 million came, which I did not expect. But the vast majority of the people who entered from Real Vision and these other places, they were just sick of fucking not being on the board. They just kept falling and kept falling. They're like, look, I'm gonna stop fucking falling all the time. I'm going to give the board to somebody who's more experienced than me, and I'm happy to pay them a little rent to make sure I stay on my board. Right? That's the process that's actually happening. But understanding that you're going to go through that is part of the journey. So that's kind of the first piece of advice that I want to give you. Then let's understand this. Let me tell you a little story first, another story about myself. When people ask me, hey, how does your framework predict things? And I try to explain, like, the VIX does this and this does that. Actually, underneath, when I talk to friends about it over dinner tables, I'm like, okay, here, let me start here. You have to understand how the universe works to the best of your mind's ability in a manner that allows you to predict what the universe is going to do. Yeah. My journey of that, I went into when I was like from 12 to 15-ish, somewhere around there. I was really into physics and into quantum mechanics and everything in between, biology, chemistry, everything. But everything is basically physics. And I went to go learn about all this stuff. And then I would get to a point where I would realize, oh, these books and these systems and videos and stuff, they don't explain how mass works. Like, where does mass come from? Where does electromagnetism come from? Where does the nuclear force come from? Where does time come from? How come energy can't be created or destroyed except for that one time it all just popped into existence? You know, I would ask a physicist. They'd be like, yeah, well, we don't really know. I was like, what do you mean we don't really know? Like, nobody knows. And we think we know shit. Like, yeah, you're a kid. I was like, okay. Internet either knows either. Okay. And I was like, let me see the math. And I would look at the math as best as I can. And I was like, wait a minute. Quantum mechanics and theory of relativity don't agree. One talks about the planets and one talks about the quantum stuff, and yet they're paradoxical. One says we can predict everything, one says we can predict nothing. And you're saying the math of both is correct? And they're like, yes. I was like, but their math, it disagrees with the math of the other one. They said yes. I was like, and you think this is cool? I said yes. I was like, am I the stupid one? Okay. And I was like, wait a minute. What's this number in the math? And I look at the math, and they just have 27 numbers that they use to make up the calculations. Like, it's the only time in mathematics that somebody's allowed to just make up a number to make the math work. They're called constants. And I was like, what's this number? And they're like, this is Planck's constant. And I was like, why? Why is it that number? And they're like, Planck made it that. I was like, I know, obviously. But why the fuck is that number in there? And they said, because without that number, the math doesn't work. And I was like, well, I wasn't allowed to fucking make up numbers in math class. No, 27 numbers to make the math work for all of physics, and we don't even know, and they disagree with each other, and we don't know where anything comes from. That's stupid. And I was like, okay, at least this math covers 100% of reality, right? They said, no. 97% is dark matter and dark energy, and this only applies to the 3% of visible world. And I was like, oh, so we don't know shit about shit. Like, we don't know shit, right? So then I was like, okay, this scientists are fucking retards. To the best of my ability, by 15, I was like, scientists are retards. And then I was like, let me go to theology, because I know Indian theology and other things have a lot of answers. Let me go to theology. And at 12, I started taking mushrooms. Yeah, it's a little early, you know. I turned out perfectly fine. Never had any issues. So the mushroom had already started to tell me, like, there's a reality beyond this physics reality. So I was like, okay, let me go to the esoteric world. And every theology, every esoteric philosophy kept saying the same thing. They said, oneness, oneness, oneness. Everything is love. Everything is one. We are all connected. You know, we're infinite. And I was like, okay, everything. Buddhism, Hinduism, you know, Christianity, every single one of them, Jainism, And I was like, okay, that makes sense, but still, I need a concrete explanation of how the universe works. At the same time, I'm learning manifestation and and there are all these disparate ideas. Then one day I find a scientist. His name is Nassim Haramein. You're going to see his work soon. And he reached the same conclusion that I reached. And he took consciousness and put it into the mathematical calculations. And when he ran the math, his math came out perfect. Without any bullshit numbers, his math came out perfect. And I mean, down to the weight of electrons, it predicted everything perfectly. And his theory says this. It says every proton in the universe is quantum entangled with half the universe. Oh, relax, bud. Every proton is quantum entangled with half the universe. If you have two protons, they're quantum entangled with the entire universe. And quantum entanglement, it means that when you change the state of one, it changes the state of the entire universe. Technically, when you change the state of two protons, it changes the state of the entire universe. We have a trillion protons inside of us, which means when our consciousness changes the state of our trillion protons. That's 500 trillion quantum entanglements with the universe, which it's funny to put a number on it, but you get the idea that when we change our state, it flips the state of the universe. And when the universe changes its state, it flips our state. And that is manifestation. That is oneness. That is astrology. That is everything. That's why the universe is a reflection of us, right? So this theory has defined my understanding of everything because it explained everything. And when he gave it to a computer and he said, draw this, the computer drew the flower of life. And his theory now is being fleshed out and is probably going to be part of the next Nobel physics. But my point with all of that is you have to understand that the universe is a mirror. It is simply reflecting our state to us. This is his name, Nassim Haramein. It should have 2 R's, but I didn't have time to make the AI fix this. There's no out there. Everything is within us. So whatever is outside that is showing up to you is you. If you are vibrating lack or panic, the charts will show you exactly that. If you think the world is going to die and blow up, your world is going to die. If you are in an emotional state that vibrates gratitude, vibrates a frequency of abundance, and you just know that the universe is going to provide, the provider is already providing, that you're infinitely abundant, then you will have a reality that's amazing. If you think the world is going to not end, it's going to begin, a more beautiful world is beginning, then a more beautiful world is beginning. So understanding that, actually looking at the charts and looking at the portfolio and going, fuck, it should be fuck, right? Understanding that mirrored state is such a crucial thing to master. And whenever it feels like it's bad outside, it's actually because there's something inside that's being reflected outside. So we're going to do a whole bunch of abundance training and a whole bunch of deeper work on that we're going to, as this, so that you can actually create an internal state of abundance which gets reflected externally back to you. Okay, but I love that idea that, like, this is why astrology works. This is why everything is tied together. This is why the moon decides how we are. Now, another kind of reflection to take on this is, like, if I want to change my portfolio, I simply have to change my state. So think about it like this. An easy way to work on this is Joe Dispenza's philosophy, or at least the way that he laid it out is the best, which is to say, the thought sends the signal out, and the emotion brings the reality back. Okay? You can't sit and visualize your way to success. That's the secret to the secret is actually missing from the secret, which is like, if you sit there and visualize 1,000 things, it won't happen. Here's a simple example. You have a bunch of thoughts in a day, a lot of them good, some of them horrible and shitty. The good stuff doesn't happen and the shitty stuff doesn't happen. It's not the thought that actually creates the reality. The thought sends the signal out and creates your state being reflected or sent out. But the reflection back is actually a reflection of our emotions. So it's when we feel inabundant that inabundance shows up. It's when we feel abundant that abundance shows up. It's when we feel whole love shows up. When we feel a whole, then a whole shows up for you to, you get the idea, But, like, our emotions are the ones bringing it back. So tune into your emotions, especially men. Guys, tune into your fucking emotions. All right. There are times for sure to not be emotional. Women, there are times to not be emotional. Did you know that? There are actually times to not be emotional. That's a joke, ladies. Quit being so emotional about it. Relax. Let me tell some jokes. All right. But there are times to, you should feel your emotions fully. And if you can control your emotional state, that is the biggest secret in this process. And yes, you can control your emotions. Our emotions are simply reflections of our thoughts. And rather than controlling the emotion, it's actually catching the thought that creates the emotion, and catching that thought and watching and looking at that thought and going, why am I having this thought? Or just watching the thought, like letting it go by and not taking the thought as reality or you or whatever, right? So we're going to do a bunch of work on that. But the point is, the thought sends out the signal and the emotion brings it back. And yes, I'm going to be closer to this mic, so you are going to hear radio DJ 98.5. Thank you so much. We got crickets in the back. Okay, that's the preface. But the real game, the market fuckery game, can be signified in a single chart. And I'm now going to show it to you. You will have to subscribe to a course. And before I show it to you, there's a message from our sponsors. Me. Hi. In order to receive premium data, please subscribe to some bullshit place and pay a bunch of money. That's what this was all about. I'm definitely doing this at 9 o'clock at night. All right. Okay, relax. That was a joke. We give you all the data. Okay, but seriously, this is the game. There's one chart to understand, is this one. This one. It's called the Wall Street cheat sheet. I have created a much better version called the Crypto Excellency cheat sheet. This is the psychological waves of the markets that happen, okay? This is literally what the chart looks like again and again and again and again. It happens on the daily scale. It happens on the monthly scale. It happens on the minutely scale. You can see this pattern many, many times. And the whole idea is below about here is fear. All of this is fear. Up here is greed. And it just cycles between fear and greed and fear and greed. In greed, you're not going to sell because you're greedy. You want more. In fear, you're not going to buy because you're scared. So you don't buy when you're scared, right? And it's a process, okay? Down here, people don't even believe in crypto. Or they just came out of one of these depressive states back here that we're going to get to. But down here, people don't even believe in crypto. This was like $15,000 Bitcoin. Nobody believed it. Then we went up and people started to have a bit of hope. Holy shit, it's at 30,000. Oh my God. The ETFs are being released. ETFs are being released. So much optimism comes into the world. People get hopeful. Same people that were in disbelief down here become hopeful here and become optimistic that they're going to make some money. And then they start to make some money. And oh my God, that feeling of making money is the best drug on the fucking planet. You could put it into a syringe. And because they start to make money, they go into a state of belief. And then they hit the thrill of Bitcoin at $100,000. They didn't start at 15. They probably started around the smart ones start around 30. But by the time we get into this belief thrill stage is the time when everybody runs in, is the time when you see Raul on Diary of a CEO and you think, I trust this guy and I trust this guy. I'm going to buy. Because everybody's in a state of thrill. I will buy more on margin. I got to tell everyone to buy. Okay. And then we get to the point of 126K. I know, brother. You and everybody else. Trust me. A lot of people did that. And, it's then you get into 126K and you are in a state of euphoria. I'm a fucking genius. Look at that. I hit the button. A month later, money's going up. We making money, baby. Okay. And then from 126, it crashes. But still, this was like, let's say, 10-10 crash. Sharp, crazy crash. People are like, no, relax. It crashes all the time. It's going to go up. We just need to cool off for the next rally. It's cool. I'm rich. I'm smart. This is how it works. They just sit in the markets and do nothing. Yeah. This was the latest time that I told everybody to sell. And then what happens? Boom, bam, shablam, baby. The real fireworks start. And on the way down, people have anxiety and they're like, oh my God, the dip's taking longer. I don't want to sell now. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. Trust me. And they're like, no, 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 no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. I can't be losing all my money. No, 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 no. It's gonna come back. And you know what the funny thing is? We are here right now. We're not even down here. We're here. You think people are angry now? Just give it 40 seconds. People are in denial, thinking, no, my coins are going to come back. I'm only down 60, 70, 90%. It can't go lower than 90%. Right? My shitcoin can't go to 99.99%. Yeah, it can. Definitely. That's probably where it's headed. But people are in a state of denial. And it has this bounce. Look. Right now. Has this bounce. That's why people are in denial. Because they're like, it might be turning around. And then stock market melts down. Boom, boom, bam, shablam. Panic. Everyone starts to sell. Everything. Gold. Everything's falling off of a cliff. Like today. Then people capitulate. I'm getting 100% out of this market. I just want my 20% back. I'm never fucking coming back. I'm angry. Why did the government allow this to happen? You know, blah, blah, blah. How dare they? I got to blame somebody else. I got to blame the universe for what happened. Because everybody out there is the one causing the problems, not the, three fingers pointing back. Then people go into depression. A lot of people commit suicide and all the shit. I know, I'm not supposed to say these words on YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. Suicide is a thing, okay? Since when are we not allowed to say the word suicide? People are fucking killing each other. Fuck you for not letting people say this. Yeah? Yeah. Shadow ban me. Fuck yourself. Nobody cares. Anyways, let's get back into the positive energy. People go into depression. We're going to buy this next crash. There's going to be a pump. We're going to sell that. Then there's going to be another dump. We're going to buy that. Then there's going to be another pump. We either sell that, but this is a dramatized version of it. It'll probably go double bottom, and then it'll probably start to kind of do this. And from there, we ride the waves up. Okay? That is the journey that will happen. And then it repeats again and again and again and again and again. But let's see. Let's see this pattern. Okay. This is 2020 something. This is a 2020 full run. Okay. Down here is disbelief. Actually, let me pull this up here. Put this over here. Put that over there and put this over here. Okay. Down here is anger, and people were super, depressed. This was people started. This was the smaller version of the same cycle. Okay. Down here was anger and disbelief and depression. Up here is disbelief. Up here is belief. Up here is, thrill. This is the top. This was not the top. This was the top. Okay. Just because price goes higher doesn't mean that's a psychological manipulator. This was the top. Okay. This was the euphoria stage that we looked at. This was complacency, where people said, see, no, it's going to go up. And then it did go up. People stayed complacent again. That's why nobody sold. We sold right here. No, right here. 58K. Then it was same thing. Complacency, denial, and then anger, boom, boom, shablam, and capitulation. Okay. Now, where are we at now? Okay. Depression down here. Nobody bought it. Disbelief here. No, it's not going to do anything. Belief, oh my God, it's starting to do something, and ETFs launch right at the belief stage. Then it ran up to here, and then people started to get a little too euphoric, a little too believy. So they were like, oh yeah, we're going to knock you down a couple pegs. So they, dumped it on everybody. We sold it here. Sold it here and then bought it on the yen panic here. And then even then, this was still a belief stage. Then we went into euphoria. Okay. And this was complacency up here. This was now July to end of the year in 2025. People were complacent up here, not selling. This was the 1010 crash. So you could say maybe this was the top. Okay, fine, I'm happy with that. But I think this was the complacency stage. Here was already the process playing out. And then crash, and people are like, no, denial. And now we're down to here, and people are in a state of panic. Some are in denial, some are in panic. You get the idea. And so the next thing that should happen is wham bam and capitulation down here. Then there should be another little bounce, and then another katana catch there, and then things go up to the right side. So seeing that same pattern playing out again and again, like, doesn't this look like this? It's basically the same, right? So that is the game that is being played upon you. So if you know that that is the game that's being played upon you, the simplest thing to do is do the opposite. Up here in euphoria, we sell. In belief, we start selling. In thrill, we almost sell entirely. By euphoria, we're out. And down here, so like in this visualization, we would have sold latest there. And people are like, why don't you buy here? The question now came up from multiple people. They were like, why didn't we catch this 60 to 80K pump? First, my first answer is, well, go back in time and catch it. First of all, if you know how to do that, let me know. I'll. But secondly, it's like, no, we're here. Am I gonna catch this? No, thank you. I like catching katanas, but I don't like having all my fingers and my penis cut off. Well, are we gonna catch this? Yeah. At that point, things are low enough that we're going to catch it. And by that point, you will see anger. You think people are pissed now. You think the death threats that people are giving to Raul in the Real Vision Discord now are bad. Wait until they actually show up at his house during this kind of stuff, right? This is where the real shit hits. But this is also where the most amount of money is made. Okay? So that is the game. Now, understanding this map is understanding the game that's being played upon you, but understanding the internal stressors that cause this to play out is another piece, right? Excuse me. Imagine this is what Wall Street does to you and keeps you on this roller coaster. One solution to this is to be aware of it, be aware where we are, and once you know where we are, then act accordingly. Welcome to the club of people who are doing that. But understanding the psychological stressors and the solution to them, the ones that are internally causing them the ability to fuck with us, is really important. But before I dive into that, let me just simplify it down as always. The way they are controlling our state is through one thing. Okay. All they do is they make one number, literally some pixels on a screen, either go up or go down. That's it. Okay. Like, you put $1 million into crypto. Okay. You take $1 million from your bank account, where the pixels on the bank account screen say $1 million. And that $1 million has taken you so much time to earn. So those pixels on a screen they're like set. When it goes down, you have less. When you go up, you have more. Like, it's so black and white, right? And it matters. It's not like, whatever. No, it matters. People are like, fuck fiat. Oh, yeah, really? Well, how you buying milk? Like, it matters. Okay? It's blood, sweat, and tears. Snot, piss, and shit and bile and fucking sebum. Okay? But when we take that number and we put it into crypto, we then look at that number again. Right? There's going to be two numbers. One number is going to say, a million XRP. You bought it at $1. It's going to say a million XRP. It's going to say 1 million XRP. Above that, it's going to say $1 million. Right? The next day, you're going to wake up And that $1 million says $1.1 million. But it still says 1 million XRP. So it's like having a million bricks of gold. And tomorrow I tell you your gold is worth more, right? Do you have more money? No. You have more potential money if you were to sell it today. But that number goes up and you go, I just made $1 million. No, you didn't. Give me it. Did you make it? Let me see it. Pull it out. Cash. You can't. So you didn't make it. As a matter of fact, you made negative $1 million in your bank account. That's what you made. What you made is 1 million XRP. Cool. Million solid investments. Cool. But that number still says 1 million, right? Okay. Tomorrow you wake up and it says $500,000. And you're like, what? What? I just lost $600,000. No, you didn't. First of all, you never made $100,000. And now there's not you didn't lose $500,000, right? But it still says 1 million XRP. Next day you wake up, it says $2 million. So you're like, fuck yeah, I'm a legend. I just made babe, ma, I just made, ma. No, you fucking didn't. Okay. The only time it matters of what you made or what you kept is when you sell, you hit the sell button and you take your money and you leave the game. That is the only time you're allowed to count how much money you made or lost. Everything in between is just, it's either going up or down, or it's going, let's say it goes down a bit and then you're like, oh shit, it's going down. I'm going to sell and I'm going to take a bit of a loss, temporary loss. I'm going to take the losses and write them off on my taxes. And then market goes lower. And instead of 1 million XRP, I buy 2 million XRP. And then it runs up. And now I make $6 million because I doubled. Once I take my 6 million and walk away with it, then I look back and go, oh, I put in $1 million and I made 6. Like I have 6 that is like back in my bank account effectively in stables, right? Those are the only 2 points you're allowed to count. It's when you take it, imaginatively, if you take it out of your bank account, how much you took out and how much you put back into your bank account. Everything in between is the game. But the thing is, when they make the number go up, you go, when the number go, you go, number go, I'm the best. I'm shit. I love you, babe. I want to get a divorce. That's the whole game. It's just a bunch of pixels on a screen. So how about this? Here's a simple way of doing it. You can tap those pixels on a screen often and just change the number so it just shows 1 million XRP. Or you can put your thumb on it. Or how about this? Stop looking at it. Right? Stop looking at it for 6 months and watch what happens. Right? So that's how they manipulate it, by making that number go up and down. That number going up and down, mostly up, is called wealth effect. All these people who think they have all of this money in the stock market don't have shit. They have imaginary voodoo dollars, pseudo dollars that they've never taken out, and they won't be able to take them out. If everybody walked into the market today and tried to take out all of the money, it's impossible. There isn't 2-point-something trillion dollars sitting inside Bitcoin. That's not how this works. There's only like 300-ish billion dollars. No, that wasn't a good day. There's probably around 200-ish billion dollars sitting in Bitcoin to take. The number says some ridiculous fucking trillion dollars, but that's not how much is there. It's just wealth effect. It's just imaginary money. Because if somebody goes in and sells half the Bitcoin, the price drops by half, right? It's at 68 now. If half of it gets sold, it says $1.3 trillion market cap. Okay. There's not $1.3 trillion in there. There's maybe $100 billion in there, maybe, on a good day at this market cap. So if somebody was to sell $50 billion of actual Bitcoin, the price would go down to $30-something thousand, $34,000. And everybody else now is getting half the price. So if everybody else imagined and tried to sell, you get the idea. There isn't money sitting in there. It's imaginary money. And the person who takes it out and puts it in their fucking bank account and spends it on whatever mission they have is the one who makes it. And everybody else watches an imaginary number and has emotional fucking roller coasters and has divorces and has, pancreatic cancer because they are just missing the game. The game is completely different. Now, what is it that fucks? Let's look at the things that fuck with us. Because what are those internal things that are causing the problems? Yes, they're doing all this stuff. If I just know the game and I'm like, these are not the droids you're looking for, that problem gets solutioned. But we are fucking with us. The biggest thing that's fucking with us is sitting in the mirror. I'm fucking with me. I'm the one who causes all my problems. 100%. Even the ones that are not my fault, they're my fault for sure. Because I create this reality, right? So if I create this reality, I created it somehow through my energetic state, to my, I don't know, through my thoughts sending out the signal and the emotions bringing it back, but I created it. So a lot of times that fuckery that they cause in the charts is being amplified by me because I have an issue with my self-worth attached to the market. Oftentimes our self-worth is the issue. So it's like when it goes up, I'm worth more. When it goes down, I'm worth less. My net worth. No, your net worth is kind of infinite. Have you calculated the worth of your soul? You're infinite. But our self-worth is tied to these things. And I get it, especially as men. Like, I think for us, society is built in a way to value a man in a very core way around the amount of money we have. Yes, there's a lot of other qualities we're valued around. But a broke-ass man is a broke-ass fucking man. Like, no woman is going to have kids with a broke-ass man. And the ones that do, you get the idea. Like, it's really difficult. And it's how society is built. And that is okay. Our job is to protect and provide. So our drive is built around providing and protecting. And money is necessary to do that. But when it goes up and down, we lose our self-worth accordingly. And when it goes up, our ego inflates accordingly. Trust me, we're all there. Now, understanding that allows us to be able to not be manipulated the same way. So what's the path? What's the path to sovereignty? Understanding our self-worth is infinite. For me, the gym and like physical work and exercise helped a lot. When I was 20, I was athletic my whole life. I was handsome my whole life. And then I started eating way too much butter chicken from my first girlfriend, who was just such a sweet soul. And she made the best fucking butter chicken. From like 18 to 25, I ate like half a bucket of homemade butter chicken every day. And by the time I was 25, I was 140 kilos, which is a big boy. And I was fat. And I realized I'm fucking up my own self-worth. So then I did keto, started going to the gym, started doing calisthenics. And that process helped me feel much better about myself through the process. So one core thing around self-worth is physical self-worth. Or one way to boost self-worth or self-reflection, let's say, is to be physically fit or apply yourself in the gym or have exercise or do something where you feel literally better. And the hormones make you feel better. A lot of things make you feel better. So that's one solution to this. Probably the biggest solution is the inner work to do. Right? We're so good at outer work. We're always going to work. We're not working to go. Doesn't work that well. That one didn't work. But the inner work is huge. We have to look within ourselves. We have to find our own centered state within. And we have to look at, think about it like this. What if tomorrow you lost everything you have? Everything. All your money, your house, your wife, your kids, your husband, your family, your whatever. All of it. Then who is left? Who are you? What is the worth of the person who is left, the thing who is left? Answer that question. And if that question is nothing, then your self-worth is being reflected from the world. Change that. And how do you change that? Inner work. What is inner work? Google it. It's a lot of, we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff around inner work, but it's working on our state within. Okay. For me, one of the biggest pieces of that inner work was plant medicines, because it helped me dissolve my ego and see my infinite state. And I also guided a lot of people. And it really helped me understand that I am more than what this body makes it seem like I am. I am all of it and none of it at the same time. So that ability to be able to expand my consciousness and the horizons of my being were super powerful for me. So for the self-worth piece, that's huge. Because if your self-worth is tied to a number on a screen, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. Because then Wall Street's got you. Okay. Now, another huge problem is the mind. This is what comes up constantly. Sim, my mind fucks with me. Wait a minute. Your mind fucks with you? Who's it fucking with? Right? If your mind fucks with you, who's the you and who's the mind? Right? So then if it's you that the mind is fucking with, then you are not the mind. Then the mind is like an entity. That is the illusion. That is the illusion. It's the trickster. It's constantly convincing you of shit. What if this happens? What if I lose it all? What if it goes up? What if it goes down? What if I miss it? Oh my God. It's this thing. It's like a anxious partner that you have. Right? The solution is turn off social media. Turn off the things constantly feeding your mind all of this shit and making it get tricked. Ground yourself in the physical. Then meditate in the physical. Sit and listen to your mind. Don't try to shut it down. I've said now, I'm dating my mind. In The Way of the Superior Man, the book, it's required reading for all men and really highly recommended reading for women as well. So you can understand how retarded we are. He says, everything that changes in the world is feminine, and everything that is consistent is masculine. And when you dig down into it, everything changes in the world. The world itself changes. The mind definitely changes all the time. The body changes, life changes, nature changes, days change, everything changes. That's why everything is feminine. Makes sense? Feminine is the creator of everything, so everything is feminine. And the only thing that is consistent is consciousness. So I think of me as my consciousness, and I think of my mind as my woman, and I listen to it. And I'm taking more time now to sit and listen to it speak and empathize with what it is feeling and resonate and feel what's going on. And then I ask for more. I go, that's so interesting. Like the other day, I was riding my bike. It's a 2-hour ride. Love this ride. It's my favorite thing to do. From here, through the mountains of Bali down to the city. That's where I get my beard cut, and haircut. And I get on the bike and I'm enjoying myself, and my mind starts. Why did that happen? Did you notice that thing with that? What do they think of us? I don't like that. Yeah. And I'm just quiet. My mind goes, so you just want to ride your bike. I'm like, no, I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, but you don't listen to me enough. I know. I work a lot. But you're right. I don't listen to you enough. I should have more time. But what do you think? I'm listening now. We got a couple hours. And I'm having this conversation with my mind. And my mind is like trying to play the game. Ladies, you know the game. Men, you know the game. Like the game of like dialogue and conversation and kind of testing and seeing what's going on. And I'm just listening and empathizing and resonating and appreciating what my mind is doing. Now, I'm not listening in the way where I go, okay, sounds good, we'll do that. No, like absolutely not. Men, that's not what women want. They don't want you to just listen to them and do whatever the fuck they tell you to do. Like, yeah, read this book. Trust me, read a lot of books. Like, no, that's not the game. But to listen, to empathize, and I'm not giving my mind solutions at all. I'm not telling it to think like this. I'm not going, why don't you just drink? Like, no, it's my mind. Right? And then it stops. Then it runs out of thinking, and then it stops. And then we both enjoyed the ride. Right? So we went and spoke to a monku here, a priest, and I was like, I'm asking the big questions, and I was like, how do you make decisions? And he's like, from the heart and the gut. And I was like, okay, but the mind always fucks with you. And he goes, yeah. Okay. I was like, yeah, but how do you deal with the mind? And he's like, simple. What does the mind do? I'm like, it thinks. He's like, yes. So let it think. Let it think and think and think and think and think. And then it will get tired of thinking. And then ignore everything it said and do what the heart and gut say. Right? And I was like, that is such a simple way of doing it. So when your mind fucks with you, let it. That's its job. It only knows what it's been taught. And if it's been taught to worry and it's had fuckery before, and welcome to the club if it has, and especially if social media is constantly fucking with you, okay, know that your mind is not you. Let it fuck with you, and then appreciate and resonate and work on it, and then just ignore what it said, because it doesn't know shit. Its job is to simply protect you from snakes and shit. Now, another thing that fucks with a lot of people is family, right? Because on one side, many of us carry around the weight of family on our shoulders. Many of us have family members who constantly fuck with us. And I feel like family is like a special test that we're all given. And I'm blessed with not having any of that. For my whole life, I was a latchkey kid. You heard my story at the beginning. It's been such a privilege to not have to deal with any of it. No mom, no dad, no brother, no sister, no nobody. Like, I just get to do what I want to do, because it comes with it's a service, and family is family, right? So it fucks with you all the time. People who don't understand your vision, maybe they project their fears on you. Maybe they are, I don't know, judging you. There's 1,000 different ways family shows up, but family fucks with us constantly. The people around us fuck with us constantly. There's a reason why I'm in celibate monk mode, because I'm like, it's just the way, because I can execute properly. Now, is that recommended? No. Like, it's highly not recommended, right? But the solution that I've found is the radical communication and transparency with the people that you love around you. Let them know, hey, you're affecting this. Like, let's have a conversation, right? So with family, one thing I recommend to people, with family, with partners, with everybody, is a technique called hour time. Because you really care for this person, to sit with them and say, look, here's what we're going to do. Would you like to try this with me? We're going to do a process called hour time. We're going to sit down and we're going to discuss our hearts, feelings, openly, with no judgment. You will get to speak, and I will sit here and listen to you with no judgment. You can talk about your emotional state, your physical state, your mental state, your spiritual state, whatever you want to talk about. What maybe I did something you didn't like, whatever. Just open space, no judgment, no grudges. Resonate and listen to them and empathize and ask for more and genuinely feel what they're saying. Then do the same thing back with them. You will probably empathize and listen to them, and there's no reacting, there's no responding, none of that shit. Just listen, right? You will probably do that with them, and the moment you start talking and telling them stuff, they're going to come back at you, right? But it takes some time to get used to, and when you get into it, it creates this open space for communication, and you can really lay out things without a lot of problems happening. Now, if that doesn't work, and then it's up to you. You deal with it. I'm not going to tell you how to deal with your family, but that's one technique that works really well for the people that you love. Then there's the people who are just fucking people, right? Family, there's a lot of family, if you know what I mean. And then there's a bunch of family where you're like, I don't even like you. You're constantly talking shit. Communicate with them too, openly. And then when they don't listen, cut them the fuck out. Like, you don't need most people in your life. You need your loved ones around you. You need the people that you genuinely care for around you, who need the energy, who need the time, who need the space. But the fucking neighbors and the third uncle who likes talking shit about crypto or blah, 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 blah. Like, talk to them and go, listen, uncle, I don't like your shit. I don't like your attitude. I just don't like it. All right. You're a negative person. Like, you need to calm your shit down. You know, not like that. You get what I'm saying? But have a boundary beyond which those people need to not be in your life, because that will create the space for better people to show up. Again, my technique doesn't have to be your technique, but it works pretty well. Spend the time and energy on the loved ones. Then society fucks with us. And a lot of times family is worried that society will think a certain thing, right? And that's where I love this quote. It says, people spend their entire lives worrying about what others will think about them, only to grow old and realize nobody was thinking about them in the first place. That's the truth. How much time do you spend thinking about other people? Like, you talk shit sometimes here and there, but beyond, you kind of mind your own business. And the people who are talking shit all the time, they're not even the ones you should worry about. How should you deal with the ones that are? The question is, how would you deal with the ones that you care and love, that are uncommunicative and having negative energy on you? Cut them out. Like, what else are you going to do? Sit there and keep taking the negative energy? Yeah. If that's your wife, get a fucking divorce. This is relationship advice. There's other people who don't hate you. Like, if it's your parents, it's whatever. Like, listen, again, that's my solution. It's easier for me to say. I haven't had family my whole life, but it's also the brutal reality that there's a lot of people who just simply do not wish to grow and change. And for them, I'm like, out, right? Society is always giving you pressure to follow, the woke path. I'm about as anti-woke as possible. I'm awake with my eyes fucking open at 9 o'clock. But the woke path, the safe path, plan B, get a degree, do the stuff my grandma used to do. You should be a doctor, Sim. You should smoke weed, Sim. That's what my dad used to say. You smoke weed, you're a pothead, you're not going to amount to anything. And then they made weed legal, and I built a weed company. Oh, you should go to school. Like, you should learn math. You're not going to have a calculator in your phone your whole life, in your pocket your whole life. The fuck do people know? Society will pressure you to be a certain way. Society will look at you and go, you need to have this, you need to have that, you need to. And the thing is, there is no society. Where is it? Point to society for me. It doesn't exist. It's just an internal made up reflection of what people are thinking about us. There's a quote. It says, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Take a second. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. So we're constantly looking at ourselves through the eyes of the others and imagining what they think of us to think of ourselves a certain way, right? Solution to that is change your environment. Okay, society is society, and your concept of society is already solidified by the environment that we live in. Change your environment. Surround yourself with free thinkers. Surround yourself with people who are on your frequency. Welcome to the club, right? There's a reason why we're sitting here on a Sunday across the world, while other people are sitting there watching Netflix, right? Change your environment. That might just mean change the place where you are. That might mean change the country where you are. That might just mean change just your people you hang out with, whatever that means, right? So that's a huge piece. Then we get to the world. You know, the world is always like, oh my God, oh, this happened, and the war in Iraq, and then the big attack, oh, boom, and they just dropped some bombs. Where? Did they drop it on me? Did they drop it on my loved ones? Did they drop it anywhere where I can do anything? Oh, what's it going to do to the market, Sim? What's it going to do to the market? Oh, fucking no, bro. You think I know? I can hallucinate and imagine for like a little bit. How about I just let it do it to the markets? And then I deal with what it did to the markets. Instead of spending all my time, what's it going to do to the markets? What's it? Well, I got to watch it to know what it's going to do. Well, if I'm watching it, I'm not watching the markets. Right? That's why I don't watch it. I watch it like a movie. It is a movie. It's a constant 24/7 news cycle. So solution is turn it off. Meditate. Sit in silence until sit in the silence until the noise stops lying to you. I love that. Sit in the silence until the noise stops lying to you. Okay? These are the internal fuckery things. Now let's get into. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Now let's look at, okay, just kind of externally, what are the things that fuck with you, and how do they fuck with you, and what are their details? Okay, the people around you, the ones that are energy vampires, kick them out of your life. The ones that add energy to your life, add them in. But zero exceptions. Don't keep any shitty people around you. Otherwise, it's your fucking fault. The shitty people around you are a reflection of the shitty shit inside you. Okay, your self-image and who you think you need to be, we've already talked about. Gym, plant medicines, da da da. Now, social media is gonna fuck with you. Okay, that's where I have a few recommendations. How about this? Try this. Go into your phone. Go to whichever shitty app you have. I don't have any to show you. Hold the app that says X on it. Okay, there's an app that says X, formerly Twitter. Press and hold it. Okay, and then delete it and uninstall it, and then go to Facebook and delete it, and go to Insta spam and go to delete it. Just delete them all. Done. You will get rich beyond your wildest dreams. But where will I know what's going on, Sim? You don't need to. You will know when it happens, right? It's better to react to what happens than to constantly listen to 1,000 different people. Go into YouTube. Okay, YouTube is one that I have. Go into YouTube. Go to settings. You might have to do this on, you go to settings. You go to, basically turn off your watch history. You go to manage all history. And you turn off your watch history. And then you delete all of your watch history. Okay? You're going to have the option to turn it off and delete all of your watch history. Then it'll look like this. Okay? Your watch history is off. Relax, bud. Come back here. Hey. I know, relax. I know I showed you YouTube. My camera doesn't even like looking at YouTube. You know what I mean? It likes looking at the weights that I have on the ground. But it'll look like this. It'll have no recommendations, nothing. And then I can go to subscriptions and only what I subscribe to shows up. And then even the shorts, fuck the shorts. I just go to videos, and I have no shorts, no posts, no weird shit, and I just bam, bam, bam. I know the 6 things I need to watch, and I've chosen what it tells me. Done. Then pick good people to watch. Don't like this channel, don't subscribe. If you're just on YouTube, don't join anything, please. Fuck off. Like, we have enough people. Do not, please. Yeah. Probably won't even see this. I'm shadow banned. So the 6 of you that see this, thank you so much. Turn it off. Uninstall all of your social media. News propaganda, easy. Unsubscribe. Okay? You watch it on the TV, cancel your subscription. It's not very difficult, because what they're doing to you is they're delivering psyops. You have to understand, like, the world is one big psyop. That's why when people go, oh, like psyops, like people are attacking countries and stuff. No, the psyop is on you. We are in a 5th generation war. And 5th generation warfare, in 5th generation warfare, the battlefield is your mind, and you are a combatant. Everybody is a combatant. There is no civilians in 5th generation war. It's a war of the mind. It's a war of the psychology, of the psyche, and it's being fought within your head. It's a war of narratives. Okay? And when you fight the war mentally and you try to pay attention to it, you already lose. And the only way to win the war is to be yourself and not participate. Right? Be yourself, whatever that means. So that the psyop psyop is a psychological operation. It's basically a coordinated effect. It's coordinated, what's it called? A mission to fuck with you. Okay? Just like somebody convinced everybody to shut down their own business and stay at home and stab themselves with untested gene therapies and think that they're saving humanity by doing that. Somebody did that. And the entire world. They did it to the entire world, except for Sweden. It's the entire world. I wonder why Sweden was unlocked. It's not like the people might be living in Sweden, right? It couldn't be that the people running the PSYOP, many of them might be living. No, don't think about that. The entire world they shut down. If you think they can shut down the entire world and convince you to not hug grandma, and then they're not running the PSYOP on you now, you're missing the point. So they're running PSYOPs on you, and this is what they look like. The crypto PSYOPs, here's what they look like. Okay. Yes, I have a visualization for everything. This is what they look like. Some of them. There's basically, on the way up, there's a coordinated urgency PSYOP, which is like, oh, here we go, it's pumping. Oh my God, it's urgent. Last chance, get in. You're gonna miss the boat. And then there's a coordinated noise PSYOP, which is like, next one, big moon, sui. Everybody, sui. Like, if there's one thing that I use YouTube algorithm for, is I would just switch over to another account that I have everything turned on, and I just scroll through the feed and see what the algorithm's trying to show me. And it just says sui, then sui's the PSYOP, you know? But the coordinated urgency is to convince you that you're going to miss it, and that there's the pump is happening now. Then the coordinated noise is what we call marketing in crypto. Like when I spoke to the people, the retards who launched these coins, I was like, we want to launch FarmSam. What's your go-to-market strategy? And they said, here's what we do. We're going to spend $250,000 minimum. $500,000 is what we recommend minimum, but $250,000 can do it. $5 million is nice. And we're going to pay $50,000 to each pimple-faced NFT child who hides behind an NFT photo monkey photo on Twitter with millions and millions of followers, and we're going to get them to shill farm scent. That's literally what they told me. They said if you put $5 million behind it, it'll work. I was like, what are they going to do? Like, they're going to take your token and post it everywhere, and they're going to go, it's the best, it's the best. And I was like, okay, and then what? So they go, oh, then you have to give them a bunch of the farm scent tokens. Okay, and then what? And then they will convince a bunch of poor people to buy it. Okay, and then what? And then you'll launch it, and those same influencers will dump the token onto the people who they got to buy. I swear to God, that was their that's not their go-to-market strategy. That's the go-to-market strategy that everybody gave us. And I was like, And then what? They go, and then the token crashes, and then you guys all get rich. And I was like, yeah, but we don't even have any tokens. The founders don't have any tokens. They're like their computer cracked. And we're like, what do you mean the founders don't have any tokens? How can you, then the scam doesn't work? And I was just like, yeah, retard. Exactly. The scam doesn't fucking work. But I can see how the scam works. And the scam is, oh, fart coins, oh, the AI coin, oh, a bunch of garbage, coordinated fucking shit. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. Oh, let's pay Raul. Let's pay this. Let's pay that guy. Yeah, let's get him to all pump it. You're gonna miss it. Same old shit to steal people. Then once you get in, even if you pick the right token, then the trap is, first of all, remember that with all this happening, 50% is AI. Now 90% is AI. 90% is just bots that are screaming. So all those posts that you're reading on Twitter and like, they're AI. You know, like even the meeting reminders I'm sending you, and I go, hey, we're about to have this meeting. It's fucking AI. I don't have time to like craft things that well. I tell it what I want. I speak to it in a very specific way, and I say, craft this, resonate this energy. I take a lot of time. I take more time to tell the AI to craft the message than I do to just write it myself, because it literally just does a way better job than me. But you know, most people are not there. Most of these posts are not people. They're AI. So their AI is telling you next big pump. AI is telling you run, and you run in, right? Remember that. Then there's the super cycle trap, which is basically saying when things go up, it's just going to keep going. Trust me, this time there's not going to be a dip. And you'll hear beginners say this all the time. Like if you still have access to the Hive chat on Real Vision, on Discord, it's gold. If there's one thing I'm going to miss is my ability to see what everybody was saying in there. And I mean, I still have access to it. It's not like they kick me out. I just don't say anything in there. Retards. But you know, you can see it in there, and you can just see what's going on. You know, you can see the people like, no, when it used to be like, you should get out of this shit coin because stuff's gonna top, and they're like, no, we're going to $250,000 Bitcoin tomorrow. There's not going to be a dip. There can't be a dip. There are institutions. There are, you know, Trump is when as soon as they start to get the feeling that there won't be a dip, get out. Okay, that's a super cycle psyop. Then there's on the crashes, there's the FUD flush psyop, which is like massive negative news that convince you to get rid of your bags and that, you know, everything's going to shit and it's only going to keep crashing. That's coming up. Okay, that's happened a bit now. It hasn't gone into overdrive yet. That's coming up at whatever $35,000 Bitcoin. They will start to tell you Bitcoin's crashing, everything's going to shit, debts are collapsing. You'll hear all of this news. When that happens, buy. Okay, these are all different psyops that are happening. Recognize all of these signals for you to actually prosper during this process. Okay. Now, what are some ways to actually look at it? This has been a overview talk, but what are some ways to specifically look at it? Yes, you guys already know one of the ways. It's the fear and greed index. And I like CoinGlass fear and greed index. I like this view rather than just this view, because I can see where we are relatively. I can see how long we've been there. Right now we're in a state of massive fear. And you notice they have it green. Fear is green. It is green. That's when you should buy. And euphoria is red, and greed is red. It is red. That's when you should sell. Right. So when we're down here is a good time to buy. Now, here we were super low. Was it a good time to buy? No. Here we were super low. Like even back here. I mean, back here, sure, it was going up, but here it's like right there wasn't a bad time to buy because it was the final kind of pump. That was the Trump crash. Here wasn't a good time to buy. Here wasn't a good time to buy. Here isn't even a good time to buy. Right? So it isn't just about looking at the fear and greed index. It's about understanding all of these things we've spoken about. Where are we in the cycle? Where is this index? Where have we been? Are we making lower lows or are we making, higher highs? And right now the trend is downwards. We're making lower lows, right? But this is the way that most people look at it. It's good, right? Another way to really look at it is this AI information warfare side. So if you still have access to, social psyops media, look at it and see what the algorithm's trying to tell you. What's the pattern that it's trying to tell you? Is it trying to tell you the sky is falling, which means it's not? Or is it trying to tell you that the sky is never going to fall, which means it is, right? Like, for example, when I see Raul's data, certain data, start to circulate in a way that makes it so that everybody knows it, I know that data is not right. Like, for example, now Raul's video started to go viral, which said Q2 is going to be great. Q2 is going to be great. So I was like, oh, shit. Q2 is not going to be great. And I told all you guys, Q2 is probably not going to be great. It's pretty easy to see the opposite of what happens. Now, Q2 is not going to be great. It doesn't mean like there's no money to be made in it, but it doesn't mean Q2 isn't a massive run up into whatever. Q2 is probably just a bounce, So understanding the AI manipulation and going the opposite of that, that's a huge piece. Then there's a sentiment analysis, right? Like, for example, I'm doing this talk because I've now had multiple beginners get in touch with me and ask me if they should get in now. And, we had some of our team members, our community members also ask, hey, people are asking me, like, why didn't we get in? And some of you guys resonated. Why didn't we catch this 60K to 80K? Multiple people resonated that. So when that starts to happen, that's a signal to me, and I go, the beginners want to get in. They're wondering why we didn't catch it. There's a FOMO piece in the air. So what should happen? The opposite, right? When the Hive chat and Discord or a bunch of these channels, I start to see, oh my God, we're all going to get rich, and I'm buying shit coins with 90% of my bag, and I'm taking my surfboard and I'm running into the deepest end of the ocean, and I'm going to get rich tomorrow. I know that's the top, right? So understanding sentiment from both sides. But here's an easy way to check sentiment. You go to Google, you type in Google Trends. We'll go into Google Trends. You type in buy Bitcoin. And you look at the worldwide trend in the past 5 years for the word buy Bitcoin. Well, let's go even longer. 2004 to now. Fine. Okay. Are people searching to buy Bitcoin right now? No. It's very low, relatively. This is the 2018 bull run. That is a proper bull run. We're probably going to have something that shoots well past this time. 2020 was a stunted bull run, but still significant. Where we are now, nobody's buying Bitcoin. Good time to buy Bitcoin. When this peaks, sentiment is high. You can also go into Grok and say, I want you to run a sentiment analysis over the past XYZ time according to X posts and give me a relative number-based reflection of what the sentiment is now. You can also ask Grok, what would you ask yourself if you wanted to find the best sentiment reflection? You know, you don't have to ask the AI the right question. You have to ask the AI what the right question to ask it is, right? But sentiment can be detected from here. But my favorite way to look at psychology is the one that I've shown you guys before. It's the NUPL charts, the net unrealized profit and loss charts. And I like to look at, like here, we'll look at the general NUPL and the soul NUPL. You guys have seen this before, but let's just do a quick analysis now because we're talking about psychology. So this is the net unrealized profit and loss on all of Bitcoin. Okay. The same emotions are reflected here. Red is capitulation on the way up, orange is hope, yellow is optimism, green is belief, and blue is euphoria. On the way down, you get the idea. You can read it here on the screen. You have eyes. You've been known to read things. So where are we now? We are in a state of fear overall on Bitcoin. Where are we now on Solana? Overall, we're in a state of capitulation. People are losing fuck tons of money overall. Capitulation means they're losing money, right? Because it's losing money overall. But when we look at the long-term holders, who are the strongest cohorts of all of these tokens, this is the long-term holders. This is Bitcoin long-term holders, NUPL, and they are in a state of anxiety. They still haven't gone in a state of fear. They will probably go into a state of fear soon as the market drops, right? Now remember, let's review. Okay, there's your anxiety right here. Remember, this is anxiety, right? This is denial, and this is capitulation down here, right? Remember? Okay, let's go back. Long-term holders are in a state of anxiety. Okay. Then on this chart, we're in a state of anxiety. Short-term holders are always losing money, so forget about them. But the long-term holders are the ones that they want to take the crypto from. So they're in a state of anxiety. So right here, right? That's what I'm saying. We're right here. When they go into a state of capitulation, we'll be down here. And once they go into a state of capitulation, we will buy, because then the cycle resets, and then we have all this time to make money. Yes, there's a double bounce process, double bottom process. So there's nuance around catching that, and we're going to do that. Long-term holders for Solana, which is a proxy for the other stable coins. Rather than Ethereum, I'm using Solana as a proxy. Long-term holders for Solana are in a state of capitulation. So then on that chart, where are they? On this chart, they're in a state of capitulation already. They're probably going to go lower. I think they're still here. Like in XRP, it's just floating in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, sure, here, who knows? At different levels. But the point is, everybody's around here. There's still going to be another flush out. Then there's probably going to be another double bounce. If we're lucky, we get a triple bounce, but I don't think that happens. But the point is, that is where we are. So looking at the NUPL is a huge way of being able to see where the psychology is. And then putting it onto this, we can see how much is left, right? All of these things run in a kind of super calculation in my head, but also looking at all this data over time, I want you to build your own mental picture, your own understanding, your own feeling around it, your own sense. Like when you go to family meetings or whatever they're called, whatever the fuck family meetings are called. I think they're called just get-togethers or birthdays or some shit like that. But what would I know? I was raised in a barn, man. Whenever you go to the family meetings, I only know meetings. Whenever you go to those, and everybody's like, Bitcoin, how's your Bitcoin doing? How's your Bitcoin? Mr. Smartass, Mr. Brokey. That's a signal, right? When they go, so hey, I heard you were in Bitcoin. Seems to be going well. I called you brokey before. I'm sorry. I noticed you made a lot of money. Can I get in as well? Be concerned. And when grandma comes over and she goes, I heard this Bitcoin stuff's making money. I was thinking of selling my house. Get out. When the Uber driver, who you're not going to have for very long, but who the Uber driver goes, I bought the Bitcoin. I know the Bitcoin, bro. You want to buy the doggy coin? That's when you know it's the top. Like I remember this clearly. Okay, I got into a Gojek here in Indonesia in 2021, and I was doing exactly this check, and I was like, he's like, what do you do? And I was like, crypto. And he's like, oh, like the Bitcoins. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and Ethereum. I want to check if you knew about Ethereum. I was like, and Ethereum. He goes, Ethereum, no. Like doggy coin? Doggy? I was like, oh no. We're already at the doggy coin. I knew that was it. I knew that was the top. And that guy called the top. That guy called the actual top. That guy called the top before before the May crash. He called the top. My taxi driver knows more about when to buy and sell than the pundits. Okay, and Raul was like 100K at 69K. Let's go into 100K. People were reaching out to me like, Raul's saying it's going to go to 100K. What makes you think you're any smarter? And I was like, the data, the frameworks, right? So that's the kind of psychological loop that we're looking at. Okay. Now I'm going to finish this thing off with the commandments. Okay. This is where there was a prophet, right? His name was Cryptosis. And he smoked a lot of burning bushes. And he went up to a mountain. And he came down with an empty wallet with 5 things written in it. It's these things. It's the commandments. These are 5 things for you to, and there's a lot of these, but these are the 5 core things I want you to like cement into your being. Okay. First of all, you are on the craziest fucking flight of your life. It's not going to matter how bumpy the flight is. It's only going to matter where you take off from and where you land. If you crash and burn, that is going to not be nice. That's going to matter. Where you take off and where you land matters. Expect turbulence. Don't be surprised when shit goes bananas. Okay? I don't even know what this thing said. I told it to write something else. Don't be the AI thinks, don't be surprised when the Shane chants. It's part of the night. Just don't be surprised. When shit gets crazy, don't be surprised. When it goes like crazy, don't be surprised. When it crashes like crazy, don't be surprised. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Would you think we're all just going to sing Kumbaya and all get rich? Like, you just entered an ocean. Expect to fucking, have your head smashed into the waves, right? And if you already have, expect it to happen again. Like, on one side, I said, don't have expectations. If anything, have the expectation of losing all of your money. Go through the psychological process of, processing the fact that you could lose all of your money and what it would mean if you lost all of your money. What it's supposed to say is, don't be surprised when the plane shakes. It's all part of the flight. Okay, remember that. That's first commandment. Expect it to be crazy, crazy, crazy turbulent. And if you don't want to be on this flight, never get on, please. Second thing is, practice detached amusement. It's like, if there's one feeling that works really well in crypto, is detached amusement. It's like you're on a flight that's super, super turbulent. You could either panic and freak out and scream, and they'll put you in plane jail, which, yes, planes have jails. Or you can just be like, that's hilarious. Whoa, you feel that? You know that? Whoa, it went up like crazy. Whoa, it just crashed. Like, okay, if you're going to be hodling through this whole process, we're not those people. We've now built the system in a way where we're sitting in cash on the side. Enjoy the detached amusement of watching the world burn, right? Sadly, that's how this world works. This crypto world works. But have detached amusements, okay? Like, don't be attached to the results so much. The more you're attached, the more you won't sleep, and the more you'll fuck everything up. Third commandment is to do the inverse of the herd. Okay? If they're running, what's it supposed to say? Whatever. Do the inverse of the herd. Okay? If they're running, you walk in. That's the idea. That if they're screaming and panicking and selling something, you buy it. If they think that they're all getting rich, you sell it. Right? Do the exact inverse of the herd. And whatever herd you listen to, or whatever herd you can be part of, like, the valuable part about being part of the communities, the paid communities especially, is because people pay to be in there. So a lot of people have like a lot of, you know, expression, and feel that and see their expression. The more angry they are, the more you should be buying, right? And again, it's going to take you some time to tune into the frequency, if you're lucky enough to be here and have raised your frequency to be here, right? Then the fourth commandment is the profit paradox, which is to say, like, you haven't made money when it goes up, and you haven't lost money when it went down. The only time it matters is when you take money out of your bank account and put it in, that counts. And when you take money out and put it into your bank account, that counts. Everything in between is noise. Okay? Like, that's the idea. Don't just count your chickens halfway. Don't just sit there and look at a number and watch it go down and think, I made money, lost money. No, you didn't. We'll let's see how much you make and lose by the end of it. If it goes down and you take the money out and you run away from the game, you do lose money, right? If it goes down and you tax loss harvest and put it in and buy more and run up, you make money. If you I don't know, make X amount of money and you sell it, you made the money. Then you put it back into the market, you lose X amount of money and you sell it again and then run away from the game, then you lost a bunch of money, right? So there's points of when to think about how much you made. You never made anything, you never lost anything if you've just been vibrating around, right? And yes, many people are like, yeah, but it feels like I lost it. Yeah, okay. Like, I don't know. It feels like it's too hot. Okay. But it's not. I can just tell myself, yeah, I'm sweating a little bit, but it's not too hot, actually. Just take my shirt off. Right? Then, fifth commandment is have a multi-year time horizon. Like, look at it from a scale where if you haven't been here for multiple years, you just haven't even played the game yet. If you haven't been surfing for multiple years, you can't expect to calculate your results. And if you came in a year ago and you're like, oh my God, a year ago, I expected this to happen and I've been here for 1 year. Oh, you didn't get rich within 1 year. What are we going to do? Maybe wait another year, right? Like, the simplest thing, the simplest way to think about it is like, did it take you a year to make that much money, as rich as you got? Is it reasonable to expect to get rich within a year? Right? So again, there you go. That's the idea. Have a multi-year time horizon. Okay. Recap. The mind fuckery is within you. It's in between your ears. Your mind is the thing that is fucking with you in the first place. The control mechanism is making a number go up and down on a screen. The process is the chart that I just showed you, that I've showed you the whole time. If you simply stop looking at that number and connecting your self-worth with it, and then reflecting it through your community and the people around you, you have won the game. You are an infinitely abundant being. Abundance is infinite upon itself. Money is not limited in the world. There's actually too much money that doesn't know what to do. And if you can just sit in the eye of the storm well enough to get to the other side of this multi-year flight, we are in the most generational melt up in assets and the most generational opportunity that will ever exist. But statistically, only about, by the way, I was wrong on my numbers. 70% of people actually lose all of their money. 20-ish% of people break even. 9% of people make good money. And 1% of the people take everything. So the chance that we are part of that 10% of people at the top that actually make money is very high. And I am part of the 1% that makes a lot of money. So welcome to the club. Okay. Thank you for listening. Now we'll go to some Q&As before we close this thing off. Hopefully that was useful. Okay, the question was, what if you can't cut them off? It's blood related. What does, like, who cares about blood, bro? Like, I have a lot of blood related people who are toxic people. My brother is a toxic person, horribly toxic person. Yes, he's broken. Yes, there's a lot. Yeah, but like, he's a horribly toxic person. Like, am I just gonna stay there and be like, oh my god, like, you're my blood? No, blood is fucking super overrated. Yeah, listen to one of the people who's actually, fucking succeeded in life and is crushing it. Yeah, blood is overrated. I connect more. For me, it's a meritocracy. Like, your blood type has nothing to do with it. Like, you know, for me, I care more about the people that are showing up the right way, that are adding energy, that have good, goals and consciousness behind them, that love, that care, that have done the inner work and raised their spirit and done all this stuff. Those people matter more to me, because I'm like, those are the people that actually, one, I resonate with and I'm on the frequency with, but secondly, they're the ones who are helping themselves. So I want to help them. And I know they want my best, so I want their best. When my blood wants to like steal and take everything from me and is toxic at every single corner on purpose with envy and jealousy and hatred, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Who's the one telling me that I have to do any of this? Society? Is society the one who's getting hurt over this? Fuck all that. There's a great technique called cord cutting. Check it out, Gabriel. It works really well. We have been teaching it to our kids for 20 years. Yeah, I love that. Cut your cords, and or don't, or stay in the same pattern. Like, what we're not changing, we're accepting. Remember that, right? That, like, it's, if we don't change it, then we are telling the universe, I accept this in my life, and I want this in my life. And so then we have to live through the consequences of having that in our lives. That's why you also see me, like, I'm a very loving person. I'm very caring, and I show up a certain way. When it comes to like bullshit, I cut it right away. I go, no, fuck this, bye. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter to me. My dad was toxic, cut him out of my life. My brother was toxic, cut him out of my life. I have brothers here who are fucking amazing people. Like, I love them. I'd much rather make sure I show up for them than other people. Right. All right. Any other questions, guys? There should be a lot more questions. People just don't ask questions. It's kind of sad. Like, what is it? Here's a question. What is it that doesn't make sense about any of this? Is it about this where you're like, doesn't make sense? True friends who want to see you truly succeed in life and soul will become your family. Choose your own family. It is a relative, pure luck. Is it a relative, pure luck? I don't know. I don't know what that last part means, but yeah, 100%. Like, the family we choose is better than the family that we're given. Often the family that we're given is actually a challenge that we chose as a soul before we came here. And often the challenge is like, am I going to choose my path, or am I going to choose the path that my family is giving me? Right. And the same thing with society. Am I going to live according to society's means? Am I going to follow through on some understanding of how the world used to be, or am I going to build it the way that I want to build it? Right. Now, I want to Oh yeah, I still got to show you guys the market. Right. Yeah, I know you. Some of you guys are waiting around. You're like, what happened at the market? See what's going to happen in the market. Same old shit. But one thing that happened that was pretty major is this. When the move index pops like this, that is a violent move. This was on Friday. Move index is the bond market. When it had this insane pop, that says a lot about a lot. That's the ocean rising up like this. This was the crash last time. We are basically going parabolic in the bond volatility, which it is being reflected in US bonds, but it hasn't fully been, I think, priced in yet. Anything above this, like 4.6, approaching 5%, and we go into a very serious kind of meltdown mode, and a lot of things break in the system. It also messes with private credit debt and a whole bunch of other things. So I think there is something coming that's going to be significant. Beyond that, things haven't really changed much from last month, so I'm not going to go through everything again. Bitcoin is doing that thing. We said, it's literally doing this thing where it goes up and makes a higher high, might even make a second one before it falls off of a cliff. But it doing this is very standard for it to already start to hint that something is going to go wrong. Now, the broader stock market has pretty much just been, going straight down. Now, if I had to guess, like, we are getting pretty oversold on the indicators already. So for us to have a little bounce from here wouldn't be out of the question. This breaking down lower, this is the S&P 500, it breaking down lower than this level we see now. On Monday, does it just keep going lower, which means shit is really fucked? Or does it kind of bounce and do a thing? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Watch Gareth. He's a way better one. He's way better to watch than me on this. But this is, when the yields pop, this is the way to look at it. Like the ocean, the broader ocean, has dropped significantly, precipitously, some would say. And if it has a major drop through this level, then we got some trouble ahead, right? So let's see what the bond market's going to do. The gold has fallen off of a cliff, but that was expected anyway. It's probably going to have a bounce around here, but gold going down to this, way lower is in the cards. Gold will drop alongside everything else for some period of time. But yes, oil is the one that's causing a lot of these problems. It's still staying high, but the indicator is going down. So at some time, the oil should come down. But one thing I'm watching very closely to see if this is a solid indicator is World Liberty Financial, which is Trump's coin, which has broken down below a certain level. And so it's signaling to me that Bitcoin doesn't go up and Bitcoin probably goes down and drops a lot. So that's what we're looking at. Right now, we're just hanging out, doing the same old thing as we've been doing the whole time. Bitcoin volatility hasn't really exploded per se. It's hanging out. So yeah, all things are kind of in limbo mode. Let's see what happens basically tomorrow as the market opens up. There isn't a lot of stress in the banking system, which is, relatively good. Now, somebody had asked, what are the coins that you think are going to do amazing during this time, during this bull run? Here's the coins. Sol, Sui, yes, Sui. Sui's going to do great. XLM, Ton, Near, Link, Hype, Render. SPX, I'm on the fence about. It should do good, but I'm going to see how far it drops. Because what it's doing here, if it goes all the way back down to this like 0.0 whatever the hell cent level, 1 cent level, then we got some problems. But right now it looks like it's going there. So SPX is off this list, but I'm watching it. Dot's going to do great. These guys have surprised the fuck out of me. Canton Network has been very surprising. I still think this is artificial manipulation, and I still think it drops a lot in this thing, but Canton Network is definitely on my watch list. Ondo's going to do great. Jupiter, Atom, Pith, Trump Coin's going to do great. Peak is going to do good. Pocket is probably going to pump a lot. Like, it should pump significantly in this deep pin. Giga, again, I'm unsure about now because it's already had this massive drop. Tau, I'm not sure about. I haven't. It's not really on my list. So there you go. Those are the coins that I think are going to do great. But still, we're waiting to see what happens. So that's a quick little market overview. And if we don't have any more questions, as is our customary thingamajig, first of all, do we have any other questions about the market, about things? My question to you is, how are you doing during this period in time? Are you worried for further escalation in the world? And what is your opinion on the impact of Trump and his extended quotes? Look, the world is about to burn. All of it. Everywhere. The mutating AI cyber attacks haven't begun yet. The new terrorism is coming. There's a false flag attack coming. It's probably going to kick off the next stage in this world. Am I worried about it? No. I've told everybody what I was going to tell them for a long time, and I've done my best. As a matter of fact, what we're doing now is this. I talked to Yog. Yog just got out of Bahrain. Had to book a. Here's the update, Mike, for FarmSent. Our founder, who was stuck in Bahrain, literally had to fucking flee the country through a friend's private jet, also known as a PJ. I can't say who, but in a country that is closed, finally got out. He's in Mumbai, safe. God bless that man, because he's gold. He's an angel. He's finally in Mumbai, safe. Next thing that we're doing is through Nusantara, which is the stable coin, we're going to build a hub here in Bali for Nusantara. Emil, you already got a place there. Yoga's coming here. We're going to bring Malcolm here. Sue's probably going to build a place here. And we're just going to get together, and we got the top of a mountain, 15 hectares on the top of a mountain that overlooks everything, and we have food forests and springs of water that are already pre-prepped. Next step is we build a place there and start the construction of that whole kind of vision that I've been talking about. And then we take all our fucking legends, go up there, and we watch the world burn. That is. But am I worried about any of it? No, absolutely. It's not the time to worry. Like, for me, I'm in a very straight forward about this place. This is in Bali. In Bali, we have 15 hectares of land. We have 70 hectares of land, but this 15-hectare piece of land we've already pre-prepped with roads and everything. It's beautiful. It's on top of it's ridges on top of a mountain, space for 100 homes. We're probably going to build, 5 or 10. Don't forget to replicate Costa's Monkey Hub. Of course, when a bunch of us monkeys go up there and there's actual monkeys up there, it's going to be a monkey hub for sure. But it's going to be the Bali version where missiles don't drop, where we are outside of the range of most of the missiles from most of the countries in a peaceful country. And fuck yeah, let's go. Paulie G, bro, I kicked you out for a reason. I'm just kidding. I kicked you out because you were talking about that coin. Okay, I love you. Yeah, come check out Bali. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, don't love you any less. Yeah. Oh, wrong Paul. Okay, well, Paul, I haven't kicked you. I haven't kicked you out. I'm looking forward to you guys coming to. It's hilarious. I'm looking forward to you guys coming to check out this place. But I'm going to be really honest. This specific place is only open to the people that we have deep relationships with. Because one thing I've learned in building these communities is that people are amazing, and we all come from different cultures, and we all have different energies. But unless we've spent a lot of time together, and we get to really know each other, this specific piece of land is not where we're going to have everybody. But we got 70 hectares, so when people want to come here, people are picking all different mountaintops, and there's different communities going in different places. So everybody's welcome to come check it out, and I'm looking forward to you guys being here. Another update on FarmSent that I said last time, if you guys didn't watch the videos, is, would I rather be stuck in US or Canada? US, hands down. I'd rather go to Texas. UK, no way. I'd rather just. That's a joke. See, it's not a joke about killing yourself. Don't kill yourself. These are the kind of jokes I make. If I'm in the UK, get the fuck out. Go anywhere else. Like literally anywhere else. You know, anywhere else is better than the UK. But US or Canada, US, like America. Sweden is cool to be stuck in. Not really, bro. Not in the world we're moving into. Like Sweden is one of the most. Sweden is the head of the snake, one of the heads of the snake, and what they're about to do to the Swedes is you're gonna watch what's gonna happen. Bali or Thailand, 100% Bali. Like there's a reason why I'm here. If Thailand was better, I would be in Thailand. Right now, are there certain islands in Thailand that are great? Yes, but the vast majority of Thailand, no. Like Bali is just Bali. It's not, the reverence here is so much more. There's so much more depth. The God is so much more embedded into the culture. Thailand is great. Okay, Thailand is Buddhist. It's still great in so many ways. You go to like Koh Samui and all these like small, tiny little islands. It's great, but there isn't the level of self-sufficiency that is available in places like Bali, right? And Bali is one of the chosen crown jewels that the elites want to make sure that they keep good. That's why they held their G20 here, where I spoke, right? And then it also depends on the person. For me, Bali is great. For a lot of people, they might come here and they might not be woo enough, or they might not be, I don't know, just like they just don't, the vibe doesn't lock in right, or there's too much mold for some people, right? So you have to come and check out. Yeah, Dan, like I have my actual business. One of my actual businesses, separate from Excellency, is a business where I help people move to Bali. So you can go to cryptowealthbali.com, right? And there's a masterclass on there. You can watch that. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet, but I'll share it in the group again. But yes, we help specifically crypto investors, but pretty much anybody, but I focus on crypto people, move to Bali. This needs to be updated, that taxes have doubled here, so it's actually 0.21% tax. Like, it's ridiculous. It's exorbitant. I'm changing the website. But you can go down and watch this masterclass here, and you can, it tells you everything about how to move to Bali and stuff. But yes, we like, I have built the entire infrastructure. I have been preparing for them to blow up the world. I knew they were going to burn the Middle East down. Ukraine, Russia, back when it started, I was already a couple years into helping people escape. I helped many Russians escape. I helped many Ukrainians escape. One of them is sitting right here in the group, and he's the guy that I was talking about, Dennis, the guy that I spoke about in the Grim video. We have everything. Yeah, 0.21% tax. I know, it's fucking ridiculous. No capital gains, no nothing. And it's way cheaper to set it up in Bali. Like when you want low tax setups across the world, you need like 15, 20, 30, 50 grand. So in some places you need 150 grand to set up a proper setup. That's way too much compared to what I like to do. Here it's like 77.50 right now. They change the prices all the time, but my package is 77.50, and that covers one visa and everything set up, banking relationships, everything that you see here. But we have set up the entire infrastructure. Like, I mean, place like land, construction, visas, relationships, immigration, banking, exchanges, ministry relationships, lawyers, accountants, frameworks, execution end to end, communities, food, water, economy, businesses, fucking everything. Okay, driver's license, phone, yeah, 77.50. Yeah, that's what I charge for one visa. It's not the cheapest. You could find a whole bunch of other people doing it for cheaper, but the building the relationships is what matters here. But that's with one visa. It's 14.50 per extra visa that people want to join, and then it comes with our entire infrastructure and our network of the amazingness that we have here. So that's what's going on. The world is going to get blown up. We are going to make money from it. Even more than that, we are going to become abundant. We're going to stay zen through the process. This excellency process is you understanding how to make it so that you enjoy the journey. Those of you, everybody's in cash. We are enjoying the shit out of this, the fuck out of this crash. And we're going to enjoy the fuck out of the next crash. As a matter of fact, it makes you giddy and you like enjoy it, If anything, that's one piece that gives you joy in a world that's burning down, right? Then when it goes up, we enjoy it again. But once it goes up, then we take some of that money and we don't put it back into crypto. We take that money and then we go build things with it, right? If you're somebody who wants to leave a country, definitely leave as soon as possible while your crypto is low. If you're in the UK, you guys don't have exit taxes yet. That's one good thing about the UK, if there's a good thing. But you can leave whenever you like. In many other countries, you have an exit tax. So there, you want to make sure you leave while your crypto is still low. So when they ask you how much profit you made, you say this much. As a matter of fact, I want to write it off on my taxes against all the money that I earned, and I want to go back. So yeah, selling the house, sell everything before the exit tax, and even more than that. Here's what's coming, guys. They are about to implement energy-based lockdowns. Shashi highlighted this to me, and it makes a lot of sense. I was waiting to see what kind of stuff they're going to do. They're about to implement energy lockdowns. Some airports are already shutting down because of energy. They're going to say oil has gone up too much. LNG is blown up. And you're destroying the earth by flying around while they fly around in their private jets. And then certain hubs are shut down, like Dubai. Prices of tickets are too high. And we recommend that you stay home. Thailand has already issued a stay-at-home warning or a recommendation, and it's asking people to stay at home, right? So the next thing that's coming is energy lockdowns. And when that happens, especially in these kind of tyrannical places, they're not going to let you move. And when people fight, they're going to implement martial law. Then there's war coming to many of these places. It's already happened in a lot of places. Then there's financial collapse happening, which actually causes a lot of people to not be able to move. Then, I don't know in which order they come in. Then there's mutating AI cyber attacks coming. And then at some point, there is a global massive virus coming that is going to cause a lot of shit, right? So along the way somewhere, mobility becomes nearly impossible. So it's time to move now. Like it's time to get out within 2026. I don't know how long we have, but the doors are closing in general, right? Like even getting all of these companies set up, getting these certifications and things became much more complicated. But I'll give you guys another piece of news, especially your farm scent investors. Maybe I'm not going to say this. The next people who are going to run, I'll just text you guys privately. How about that? This is one of those things which is a little too sensitive to say in a public forum. When it becomes public news, we'll tell everybody about it. But yes, the Bali process is like, it takes a month for us to set up maximum. It is, so think about it like this. It's like you get, first of all, whoever's interested, do a call with me. Okay, either text me or message Joanna, but just message me. We book with Joanna. We jump on a call. We build a life plan out before we start any of this process to see if it's even a good fit. But the way the process looks is once we have that mind map laid out and we know it's good for your life, then you get basically a document to fill out with a bunch of information. That goes to the lawyers. They take usually a week, but sometimes it takes 2 weeks to process the company setup and the visa. The company setup, and then another 2 weeks to issue the visa. Once this temporary entry permit visa is issued, you have 90 days to enter the country, and you need to stay here for minimum 1 week. In that 1 week, your temporary visa gets turned into a permanent 2-year residency visa, which is basically the only way that you can get residency here. Then we connect you with our concierge partners. So you get concierge groups with everybody. You get one group at the bank, each bank, and one will come to your house to get signatures, the other one you go sign. Then you get a concierge group with the exchange. They help you set up. Then we help you set up other exchanges, global exchanges, all with your Indonesian residents. You get the lawyers book you a meeting with the driver's license people. You get a driver's license, then you get an Indonesian phone, and then you connect it all together, and the whole system works, and it takes you a week. Then you have a few days to come up to the jungle, visit the jungle, and live in a little camping-style mud hut, and enjoy having your feet on the ground, or travel around Bali and see different places. If you're interested in land, we can show you a bunch of different places, and we just have some time for fun. And then after that, once you go back, you have this structure already fully set up. You have your 2-year residency permit. No matter what happens in the world, Indonesia will treat you like a citizen, which means you will have the ability to enter Indonesia even in the middle of lockdowns. Right? Last time there were lockdowns, the only people who were allowed to enter the country were the ones who had this specific visa. Tourist or business visa people could not enter. So you basically open the door and done. After 2 years, you renew the visa again. Same price, $14.50 to renew it. After the second renewal, you get a 5-year visa. And then you basically become a permanent resident. But this is basically a 2-year permanent residency. Now, some people after 2 years don't renew it because they might be somewhere else, and they're like, I'll renew it when I need to renew it, if I need the residency or whatever. So there's a lot of different dynamics. And you will have the ability to take your kids and your wife if you want. If you don't like them, you can just leave them behind. You have that ability as well. But you're an asshole if you do. But yes, the goal is, now, if you want to bring your wife and kids, you have to make sure they have the visa ahead of time, right? When the moment hits, it doesn't matter if the kids are over 18. Like, if the kids are over 18, then we make them shareholders in the company. They have to have at least 10% of the company share held by them. But here's the thing, like, you can also set up the company, and later on, when you need to if you choose to bring the kids, and there's a 2-week window, we can modify the company and get them the visa again as well. It depends on how urgent you want to make it, right? And what kind of budget you have. If you're like, I don't want to, I got 4 kids, I don't want to spend another $5,000 on kids. I'll let you know once the world heats up a little bit more, and maybe then I want to do it. Or if you're like, fuck it, I just want the escape plan built, and I just want to make sure my family has somewhere to go. And the thing is, family has somewhere to go is one thing. But family waiting on the other side to receive you is a whole different thing, right? When people arrive, sometimes, most of the time, I will send, my nephew from here to pick you up, Woody-san, and you'll get received. Sometimes, if I really want to fuck with you, I will send the police, who are also our friends, right? And like, I've done this with a few friends. Walk out of the airport, I don't tell them this is gonna happen. And they're coming from the West, where like police is like, oh my God, police, like, oh shit, we're in trouble. It's like, yeah, police escort. Like, I was going to do this to you, Emil, but I was like, nah, like, you're already, like, you're a rebel. I don't want you to fuck one of them up or something, but I also just want to fuck with you. Like, that's a lie. I do want to fuck with you a lot. You're hilarious. But it's like, I'll send the police, and they'll walk out of the airport, and they have their name, right? And then they'll just open a black van, 2 police officers, and they'll be like, sir, right here. And people are like, because they've heard all the stories of Indonesia, and they're like, no, we have to escort you. Like, we don't want you to stop at red lights. Like, I know you're tired. We want to make sure we get you to your hotel, and we want to escort you for the whole day. And they fucking blues and twos you. And there's a guy in the front, there's a guy in the back, and you're sitting like jet seat black, like a jet seat style black van, where they serve you fucking champagne for your 30-minute ride to this place, and they just make sure all the lights change and part the seas to make sure you arrive where you need to arrive. That kind of service. So, and let me know if you're like, so I've had people where they're like, look, my wife is coming, and I want to impress her. Like, she wants to know if it's safe. I'm like, oh, she wants to know if it's safe. Well, here's a little package we have. I'm like, fuck yeah. Dude put his kids, his wife, everybody on a thing. One guy got on a motorcycle with the police. He was on a motorcycle. The cops were in the front back. No helmet, illegal number plate motorcycle going places. You know, it's fun shit. So whatever that looks like, know that this is the place that is safe. That no bombs have ever dropped here. You know, and even more than that, like I said in many different talks, I am doing all of this to find those people that are activated souls, that are self-sufficient, that know how to handle their shit, that have picked themselves up their whole life and gotten themselves to a point to be able to escape and leave, and are aware of what's going on in the world. And when they arrive here, we have teams and teams of people that are here to help. Now, this is also not for everyone. There's a lot of people in the world that are not fit for this, right? And I'm the first person to tell you that. Okay, like there's a lot of people that come here thinking, oh great, this is the place to be because now I'm gonna get like saved from all this stuff. And it's like, no, like you're coming from a broken world. Don't bring your broken shit here, right? If you're gonna come here, you need to tune into the frequency of Bali. You need to tune into the resonance. You need to, you know, have reverence in your heart. There's a lot of things that are required to be here. I've made the mistake of bringing people who are poor enough that they only have money, and that have come here and they were rejected, not just by me. They were rejected by the island, and they were popped out of existence, right? So really tune into who you are. Like most of the people that are in our community that have been here for the longest time, you guys are here for a reason. You see the resonance that we have, you see the vibration that we have. You know, it's beautiful having all of you guys around. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, who is this guy? I think I'm going to go there because that's a safe place where they're going to make sure that they give me food. That's not what we're here to do. Okay, we're like, God helps those who help themselves. So there we go. With that, Trent, we don't have any more questions. Let's close off. By the way, if you're a motorcycle rider, you get a special treatment from us. We are ridist. We're not racist, but we are ridist. Anybody who rides a motorcycle, especially like a rider, not just knows how to change the gears on a motorcycle, that's cool too. All right. But if you have a motorcycle, if you own a motorcycle, if you ride a motorcycle, or you're a biker and you have been addicted to buying gear at some point in your life and you know how to ride a motorcycle, when you come here, you will get special treatment from us because all of us ride motorcycles. Okay. Some of them just aren't big enough for somebody who's a 110,000 meter giant. You know who you are. I'm looking at you. Okay. All right. Now we're going to close off on this. If you know that you're the creator of your reality, and you know that you can't be fucked with, then you have to thank you. I appreciate that. That it was very valuable to listen. That's what we're here to do, to add value and, you know, not just waste your fucking time, right? And make sure that we make it through this thing. If you know you're the creator of your reality, and you have all undying faith, but a knowing of your infinite state, then there is no such thing as doubt. There is no such thing as failure. There is no, is it going to happen or is it not? There is no plan B, right? We will fucking win. We have already won, right? If you're already tuned into a frequency, just know we've already won. There's no losing this thing, okay? Just don't die. But even if you die, you still didn't lose. You became infinite, okay? But just understand that knowing that you have already done it. Like when I was in the mud house in India, I was in a jet. I had never seen a jet in my life. I'd never seen a plane. I only had a TV with a black and white TV with one channel on it. This was 1997. And I was still on a jet in my mind as a child. I used to turn into them and fly around and sit on them and enjoy them because I was told I'm going to go to America one day. And I've been on that jet my whole life. I've lived under the line of poverty for most of my life with less than $30 in my pocket, making $700 checks in Canada, which is well below the poverty line. But I was still always on the jet. It's the mindset, you know? Yes, and if you die on a fucking motorcycle. That's the way to go out. So never have doubt. If you have doubts, that's what we're here to make sure you get over. Because if you're already here, you have won. So we're going to close off on this song. After this song, I'm going to stop the recording. And I really appreciate you guys being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. We're going to do it again at this time 2 weeks from now. And until then, let's listen to this song because this is called No Doubt I Win. Okay? Thank you guys. Much love.
This no doubt I win. Step up, heart strong, past clouds part, like here in heart, one path, one goal, faith, fire in soul, fall down, stand tall, lose one, still call. This day, new start, pure mind, pure heart, no fear, just trust, gold green, not rust. Roll long feet, tired, still move, still wired, voice inside says run. Dark done hears, sun up, doubt, I'll win, rise up again, fall, then grin, say no doubt I'll win, no doubt I'll win, storms can't shake skin, love loud within, say no doubt I'll win, tears dry, face clean, past, known, fresh, seen, one step into, oh, chain snap through, praise soft, hands high, hope lifts my cry. Hurt cuts, still heal. Truth cuts, but real. Walls all gate wide. Fake walks inside. Fear talks, I laugh. Grace here do math. Pain small. God flies this storm. More laugh. Road long, feet tied. Still move, still wired. Voice inside says run. Dark done hears sun. No. I win. Rise up again, fail, fall, then grin. Say no doubt I win, no doubt I win. Storms can't seem to skin, love loud within. Say no doubt I win. Step, bruh. Don't worry, heart beat, drum, faith, song. Grace over sin, crowns wearing dust on shoes. You still God chooses. Yeah. Each day, mind clear, I pray, hands open up high, get thanks, don't lie. Real talk's too loud, I walk through crowd, eyes up, not down, still hold my crown. Earth comes, I stand, guys praying on there, lose friends, that's fine. Real ones still shine, hate taught me go, fate told me go, now I want free, change gone from me. No, doubt, I win, rise up again, fail, fall, then grin. Say no doubt I win, no doubt I win. Storms can't sink. Love loud within. See no doubt I win. No murder, no doubt I win. No doubt I win. Step up, heart strong, soul strong. Gas loud, boy, light here. One path, one goal. Faith, fire, and soul. Fall down, stand tall. Lose one, still call. This day, new star. Your mind, your heart. No fear, just trust. Lord, great night. Rest. Roll long feet, tired, still move, still wired. Voice inside says run. God
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is AI music. It is. SNX is it's a guy, but he makes music with AI. That's why he puts out like ridiculous bangers. Those are not real singers. The frequency and the vibe of that music is tuned to be divine. And that's also why he lets me play it on YouTube all the time. So thank you. We have no fucking doubt that we win. Thank you for being the winners. Thank you for your time and energy. Love you all. See you next time. And with that, we stop this recording. Goodbye, YouTube.